Good morning, everybody. I'm going to get myself some coffee because my throat's a bit parched. I'm also looking at this camera. It's got this weird glow about it, which means it's dirty. There we go. Although, for wrinkles and stuff, it's probably good. Hey, Regina, good morning. I had some really very interesting things happen this week. Of course, there was that ever long post about ancestry and religion, which I encourage people to. Lord, when somebody just called me and Aniage, I'll call you back, okay? So, my friend Aniage Bakur. Good morning, everybody. This is some really important stuff. And Dorian, I wanted to tag you and remind you I was doing it because you were looking forward to my video. I'm sorry. This is going to be a short one, and I think it's going to go into another video. Good morning, Jatan. But there's a couple things that I need to talk to you about. I had two clients yesterday. And one was talking about a job situation, a troubling one. And the other client was talking about finding love, finding someone, love you too, finding a relationship and the things that we need to do. And what people don't seem to really understand is that magic is not what we see in Hollywood. People who are not witches or magical practitioners, people who are Christians or another faiths that don't believe in this work, don't understand how what we believe actually translates into what they believe. I was talking to my brother this morning. His wife has let me know, and I posted about this the other day, that she didn't want to come to my house because I have altars. It's very interesting because my brother has traveled all over the world, and he has traveled to some places where I'm about to go. So it was really cool for him to, kind of put down some of that pride that we have when it comes to, or fear that we have when it comes to continuing to talk to our relatives who have made other religious choices. So one of the things that I explained to him is that I don't close myself off. Now I have another brother who's like, he's on that next level, super enlightenment. And for my Seventh-day Adventist brothers and sisters, it's been a little hard for them to take, because anytime that you come into a new faith and a new religion, you get really excited. So anybody who's been in the church and then when they got newly saved, they're like, let me tell you about the good news of Jesus Christ. Well, my brother, one of my younger brothers, is always talking about the good news of things like The Secret and positive thinking. And the brother that I was speaking to, who is Christian, he was like, well, I'm going to be real honest with you. It seems like he's always trying to pick a fight. And it's, and honestly, I don't believe in The Secret. And I said, part of the problem is that we get tied up in words. We get tied up in the way things are said. So, for example, with The Secret, because he gave a very good example, because he's been all over the world and he's seen people live in some of the worst situations, okay? And so I told him, I said, he's like, I'm sure that this whole positive thinking thing, if I'm starving to death and if I just positively think I'm going to eat today, it's going to magically appear. And I said, that's not it. And that's what people don't understand. I said, take the word The Secret and replace it with God. Okay? When you pray to God, don't you believe that he will answer your prayers, he or she will answer your prayers and give you what you need? Don't you believe that? So, religion is the way that human beings personify the forces of nature and science. Because, like Prince says, I'm not a woman, I'm not a man, I am something that you'll never understand. So, lowly human beings in this dimension don't have a very solid construct of right, the Bible's full of The Secret. We're going to talk about the Bible too. I'm telling you, I got a reading at noon. I got a house to clean because I've got students coming next weekend. I've got some traveling I've got to do next week. Both Belladonna and I have traveling we have to do next week. So this is probably going to end up being a series, okay? The Bible was taken from other ancient religious texts. People often ask, why does the Bible contradict itself? Well, because the Bible was very sloppily put together by the Romans who had a political agenda to spread Christianity. Jesus Christ was a cult. Their worshipers worshipped right next to Isis, and other gods and goddesses. So what we see in modern day Christianity is nothing like Christianity was in the very beginning. So I don't like to talk to people who always want to dismiss anybody's religion. Religion is a cultural construct. Sometimes it can be oppressive and sometimes it can be freeing. And I don't care what religion it is. Christianity can be just as freeing as voodoo. It's how you approach it. Too often we listen to man, we listen to preachers, we listen to what people think. And this is a really big thing because that's not spirituality. That's not faith. How many people have had faith in a person and that person let them down? People are going to let you down all the time. How many times I know every single day there are things that I'm supposed to accomplish that I have not accomplished. Okay, you should see this room table right now. I got some orders I got to get out, y'all. We'll be working on those this weekend, okay? Every day I fail at something. Every day I have to apologize to somebody for fucking up. But most of the time I have to apologize to myself because I have really high expectations of myself. And so because I have high expectations of myself, there are things that I just don't get done. So we have a lot of people that come for spiritual consultation. I think that any diviner can tell you that 9 times out of 10, those consultations are about your relationships, whether they're platonic or romantic, money, because that's the reality. We need money to live in this world. I get really irritated when people say they don't pay for readings or whatever, all of that stuff, because this stuff costs money. People, I think they think I'm rich, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second, because I feel rich. But if you knew where I came from, you'll realize that I'm pretty much lower, maybe middle class. I think middle class is in the 6 figures at this point. So I'm lower middle class. But I'm rich. I'm also rich compared to a lot of people in this world. I think that a lot of times we don't pay attention to what we have and we concentrate on what we don't. And that's a big thing. And jobs, But what is the most curious thing, and I tell people this all the time because I tell people, hey, a lot of people come to me for a reading. And they think they need one thing. Oh, they think they've been cursed. That's very rare. 9 times out of 10, you're cursing yourself. We've said this before. Or they come to me and they say, I need someone to love me. I need a relationship. I need a job. I need this. But what people don't come to readings for are the very things that they need. I need to fix my spirit. I need to work on my faith. That's what you're supposed to come to a reading for, because I promise you, I swear, I promise you, before Bob and Cheese, I got 2 of my cousins, Belladonna and Joey, on the line, and I can tell you that, they have seen this in my life. That there are times when I've had to talk myself into my reality. There's this book that I still have of yours, Joey, The Art of Thinking Big. So when people come for readings, often they'll ask me questions about shit they already have the answers to. And Belladonna has sat here and watched me say to them, wait a minute, you about to waste your $75 and asking me about some shit you already know the answer to? How about what we do is we find out what you already know what the problem is. How do we find out how you fix it? Because I'm not that type of reader that goes, does the oogie boogie spooky stuff. What you will find, especially in voodoo, people message me every day. And that's another one that I'm doing, but I'm going to do it at the Black Witch Convention, and I don't want to put it out here first. I'm working on a lecture about alleviating Christian guilt. Okay? So that you can move beyond that if you are to become a magical practitioner or a member of an ATR. There are a lot of people who are ATRs that are still Christians, but the more they learn, the more they move away from those precepts. And they hold on to the things in Christianity that are worth it. Well, self-actualization is always hard, and it's a life-going process, okay? I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, I'm an amazing witch and I'm a wonderful practitioner, because the reality of the matter is I will gain competency as I go along. I will mess things up. I will do things right. That's life. So that extends into your magical practice. People don't understand what magic is. And so I'm going to try in this few minutes that I have to break this down. And somebody let me know when it gets to be 11:55, because then I'm going to have to stop because I got to get with my client, And I'm hoping that they will broadcast that lecture, or I'm going to have somebody film alleviating Christian guilt. So back to speaking to my Christian brother this morning. I said, so you replace the secret with God, okay? My godmother said something really interesting this week. It's not that we don't trust other people. We don't trust ourselves. We have to manifest our faiths. Anything you do, anything you get, I don't care if it's a paycheck. Now, there's some folks getting paid and they ain't doing what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. But anything we do in this life, I don't know anything that falls into your lap. Magic is the ability to ask a supernatural energy, whether you believe in a God or nature or any of that, whatever it is, to manifest something in your life. And even as a Christian, I was taught, okay, so we're going to ask God for this. Now, sometimes you don't get what you want. I don't give that saying, be careful what you pray for, you just might get it. That's a little tricky. Sometimes we're given things that we really don't need, that we think we need. Yeah. So we can get rid of them. You are looking at somebody who lost a lot of material possessions. I used to say I lost everything, but that doesn't sound right. Because losing my job, my condo, my credit, blah, 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 all that. The shit that drove me in 2009 to a nervous breakdown, that drove me to buy a one-way ticket from from Chicago to Ohio to visit family, okay, was very necessary. And the thing is I knew it at the time. I was talking to Daisy about this the other night. I knew at the time that I was shedding. There's like a snake sheds its skin. That there were things that were being taken away from me that were incredibly painful, but the reality is I didn't need them. I didn't need that condo. Because I promise you, I told my brother this morning, if I'd stayed in that condo, I wouldn't be in this house. I wouldn't have had a parking space. I am grateful when I can pull in a garage and walk into my house without getting wet, and I'm grateful that I had that place to live, but I'm also grateful, I got some hair on my lip. I'm also grateful that I had that third floor walk up, because while I have 45 stairs to bring up my groceries, that place was two times the size of my condo. It provided a reading room where I had my original working room where I did my workings. I had built-in altars in the house when I moved in, and I didn't even know it because I wasn't a practitioner yet. I had a wood-burning fireplace, and I didn't even know it. And so that place enabled me to know what I wanted when I bought a house. But I had to humble myself. All my kids, classmates, their parents owned their own homes. It's something that I think is necessary for stability for children, so that you're not subject to when somebody's like going to kick you out of your house or whatever, not renew your lease or whatever. So for me, it's 11:55. Oh, gosh. I gotta go. Y'all don't know. I haven't even gotten to the point where, and I'm going to spend 5 more minutes with you because I'm going to call the client and they're going to be okay. Client might even be watching this, but it's just a 30-minute reading. But I'm going to spend this, you all tell me when it's noon, okay? I'm going to spend this last 5 minutes with you. If you are asking for things, make sure you believe that it's going to happen to you. You ever heard that phrase, fake it till you make it? Do you ever see people lie to themselves so much that it becomes the truth? Their truth? Why can't we lie to ourselves about positive things? I'm telling you, it's the only way I'm still alive. I got up in the morning and I said, I'm going to make it through today. I'm beautiful. I'm important. I used to think that I wasn't important and I wasn't special. And I'd start telling myself, yes, you are. After a lifetime of verbal abuse and being told that I was not, I had to lie to myself and tell myself that I was. That's the start. Okay? You cannot do magic and doubt yourself. Every day I get somebody that emails me and tells me and asks me, I want to practice magic, but my self-esteem sucks. Guess what, boo-boo? Don't do magic. Get your shit right. We all are amazing creations with endless abilities. We only tap into about 2% of our brain. And so when you are putting these things out in the universe, you can't turn around and fucking backtrack. You can't turn around and say, I'm going to do this. And then say, oh, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to. No. Fuck no. Let me tell you something. I walked in that car dealership yesterday. Wasn't even trying to buy no car. I don't need no fucking car. I was halfway done paying my car off. But what I knew was this. Car needs engine oil to run. And that shit just started disappearing. And they couldn't find out what was wrong with it. And it was still under warranty. And I could still get a decent trade-in value. So I'm not going to think about, oh, God, now I have 3 more years of the same bill. I'm sitting here thinking, no, I'm going to get the car I want. Went back to the car I had before because I loved it. I'm not going to worry about how I'm going to pay that bill. That bill's going to be paid. That bill's always been paid. I didn't have a new car until I was 42 years old. I'm like, it's the same car note. You're always going to have a bill to pay. Do it. And I'm happy. Every day you deny yourself the things that make you happy. And unfortunately, that's the tenet of a lot of religions like Christianity, that we're supposed to suffer here. And that's one of the reasons why it wasn't good for me. Because I'm not really into suffering. I'm not into immediate gratification. But I'm into having my flowers while I'm alive. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you some more in a very detailed manner at some point this weekend. I hope. I've got to go to Indianapolis tomorrow. About manifestation. But one of the things that I'm going to tell you is that we all have self-doubt. We all have doubt. We all have moments where we don't trust ourselves. But think about all the times when you set out to achieve a goal and you really worked towards it. You worried. You worried whether or not that goal would be achieved. But chances are, if you worked at it, you got it. What you need to be upset about or worried about is not trying. The only failure is a lack of trying. And I promise you, people talk about stepping out on faith. I live my whole life based on faith. Not just in my ancestors, my creator, and my Loa, but the fact that I am all of them. Do you realize this? You are the creator. You are the spirits. You are your ancestors. So if you believe in them to get something done for you, why can't you believe in you? So I'm going to leave y'all with that, because I don't like being late for my clients, and I'm going to be late for my client, and I'm sure, but I have, they said, the Lord put a message on me today. I get these every day, and I would love to have time to do them every day. But, and this is going to require, so I'm going to take some more notes. This applies to any religion that you're in. But we're going to talk about Christian guilt. You gotta remove that from your magic, because that's not what Christianity is about either. And nobody ever told you that. Bible's full of magic. And we are using 2% of our brains. So my goal is to help everybody maybe get 5 or 10% of their brains. Okay? With that, you can really take control of things. There will always be things that happen that are beyond your control. There will always be tragedies. There will always be sadness. And when I get the answer from the spirits about why this fucked up shit happens to us in our lives, then I'll be the first to let you know. But in the meantime, why we do this is so that we can handle those times. So when you go to get saved, I know as soon as I got saved, I got pregnant. When you go through an initiation process, people start acting stupid. People that you really love act in ways that you would have never imagined. And I don't care if they could be in the same religion as you, and you're like, what's going on here? But you're being tested. And just like, diamonds are cut from the rough and fine metals are forged, it's no different. You're going to be refined, you're going to be burned, you're going to be hurt, you're going to be fucking melted. But then you're going to be shaped into something else. And so that's where I'm going. It bothers me tremendously when I see new people in this practice and they don't get that. Everybody wants to open a business. Everybody wants to be famous and all that stuff. And that was the last shit on my mind when I became a worker and a diviner. Let me tell you what was on my mind. I have a master's degree in English with a concentration in Black literature, and undergrad with a minor in Black studies. I wanted to learn about myself. I wanted to learn about my culture. I wanted to learn about where I came from. I wanted to figure out how, with everything we've ever been through, why are we still here? How do we do this? With the other fucktitude, to look at the status that I shared from Sayate the other day about all the things that have been done to Black people here. Syphilis, non-treated. Your DNA stolen. Your humanity, your culture ripped away. Your babies ripped away. That would kill me. So why am I still here? That's why I do what I do. So you can't come here. I've had a person do this and I've cut this person off that really specifically came here for 201 so she could improve her business. In fact, her last words to me were, oh, this is going to do so much for my business. Oh, I mean, spiritual practice. You can go into business. Business is business. But what you come in here for is to build you. And guess what? I'm building me too. I'm not a perfect person. In fact, I'm not a very nice person, and I'm very impatient. And those are things I work on daily. And my feelings get hurt easily because I'm a Pisces. We're all going to have human fragility. That's why I kind of laugh at white fragility. Because it's that cognitive dissonance of like, wow, this is fucked up and I just don't want to admit it. Or this is wrong and I don't want to admit it. I want to tell you why I'm not a bad person. Rather than just looking at the situation, trying to fix it. And those are the people that make your best allies. Nobody that's going to sit up and say, well, that wasn't me. My parents weren't slavers. But you still benefit from the advantages set there forth. So how are you going to make it different for somebody else who doesn't have those advantages? See, that's what we're doing here. So I'm going to let y'all go because I feel real bad about my client. And I don't normally do this to people. But like I said, I had to preach a word. I got notes. I got a house to clean because it's been a week. It has been a week, y'all. But I'm going to try to get back. And I've got a class that I'm taking with Rish. If you are not taking her dowsing class, I'll be taking it with her at 5. Rish DeTerra, somebody tag her here in the comments in case anybody's interested in taking that class. I'm very interested. So she's making a session for me, and I'd love if other people could show up because I couldn't do it this morning because of this reading. So, but maybe this evening. It's 12:06. Let me get my ass off the internet. Love y'all, but I got a ton of stuff for you. I do. I promise. I'll be back.